pleasure to be here. Thank you. This is a painting I started a while back, and I actually had it all painted, but I didn't like it. There was something I wanted to do to it, and my style is a little different, maybe. It's called The Beautiful Piano Player, and I went ahead and I didn't like it. I just covered everything with Spackle paint, Spackling medium, because I didn't like how it looked, and I just wanted to give it a new dimension. And I've been making my art pieces three-dimensional for maybe the last, I had an art show 2 years ago at the Third Degree Glass Factory, and it was a solo show, and all my pieces in it were, I would say 75% of all my pieces were brand new. And it was called MultiMedia, The Diversity of Trees. And every single piece in the show was about a tree, okay? And also upcycling found objects around the house. And you can do that a lot. I mean, you would be surprised if you think about all the stuff you throw away every day, or recycle maybe, that you can also give it a second life. And that was the whole idea behind my show. And also, guess what? Save on art supplies. Because I learned a lot just from getting ready for the show, because it was amazing. I had fun. I just wanted to have fun, but also kind of get a message across about, saving your scraps as an artist. I'm kind of a scrappy artist, and I upcycle a lot of things, objects. Don't laugh, this is dryer lint right here. And it took a while for it to dry. And then here, this is old twine that I had in one of my drawers at home. And it was just laying there, and I go, I can make, do something with it. And I'm gonna paint all this and make it look more three-dimensional. And what I usually do is I use Mod Podge a lot to layer stuff on, but I found a cheaper way of doing that, cutting corners, is taking glue that I get at the dollar store, and I just water it down, like 50-50, and here it is. It's kind of watery. But you might, I'm gonna actually add some more glue to it, and I will soak, like this right here, is this lace right here that I used. It was an old piece of lace I had up in my studio, and I went ahead and got the idea to use it to make the bottom of her dress. And I really got into the floral patterns that I saw on the lace, and I wanted to incorporate that because I know when I paint it, it's gonna look really cool. And just wanted to give it more of a volume for some reason, because the piece is called Plain for Time, and it was actually, part of it was inspired by the cello player at Meghan Markle's and Prince Harry's wedding. I don't know if you guys saw their wedding, but he was such a tremendous, he was really inspiring, very talented young man, and then, and just my love for music and the arts in general. So, let's see, I used different media in this piece, actually. This, as you can see, the heart, this is a rose, and I had, actually, like I said before, I had everything painted in here, and it's all kind of loose. But this rose was here, it was painted in, and I decided to put some of the dryer lint in the glue, and I let it dry, and then I made leaves with some really thick paint I had. I tend to collect tubs of paint sometimes, and after a while, over the years, it gets really thick. And so I don't know what to do with it, so I have to do something with it. So that's what I used to make the leaves on the rose. And it just makes it more artsy for me too. It just makes me more creative. For some reason, I just like it. And then this is an old, it's whatever appeals to you. So if you found objects and you have something, you have deep meaning that means something to you that you want to get rid of, you can incorporate it into your artwork. and it would make it into, like, this is one of my old favorite sweaters that I accidentally put in the dryer, and it shrank, and I couldn't wear it anymore. So I loved it. So I go, well, I'm gonna make those into butterflies, and so that's what those are right there. And I'm gonna demonstrate and show you how I did that. I don't know if I can do it though without it falling. So bear with me. I just took a scissors and I cut it out, and we'll see if it sticks. Because when I was working on this, anytime you're putting 3D stuff, you want to work flat, and so I was working flat at home on it. So I don't know how that's going to work out here. Just a heads up. So I was going to go ahead and start painting some of this, and then also apply some of the three-dimensional objects. Let's see if I'm forgetting anything. I have some old paint here too that I'm going to put. You can see how thick it is. But it's a beautiful color. I got it. It's one of the Lowe's rejects, like people get their paint mix, and they just sit there. I got it for $2.50. And I know some people are really into using the high quality paints. You know, like I use a lot of different things. You know, I like different name brands like Golden, Dick Blick's brand, Art Mart's brand. If there's a sale, if I have a coupon, I'll go in there and use it. So that's why I have such a high mixture paints. But this was only $2.50, and I was like really liking the color, and they're right by the paint mixing kiosks in Lowe's and or Home Depot, and they resell them, but for like a really huge discounted price. So like it was $16, and I got it for $2. So in the paints that I did, this is not the paint. I actually applied a spackling medium to get this, and I also incised some texture into it, like a floral pattern, because I like to pick up different designs. Like here, there's like floral flowers in her in the lace of her dress, and I went ahead and tried to. And I went ahead and put flowers in the back on there too. And this is a tree right here. So I don't know if I'm gonna build the tree up or not. I could even bring, make some string or do. I didn't want to do the string, but with the paint, you will be surprised if you take a piece of cardboard. And I think I put some of those in here somewhere. Or an old business card, or a flat piece of cardboard, and you can put paint on it and put it on here and you could paint it one color all over real thick, and then take another color, like a dark color, like a dark brown, and then you can get some lighter paint, like maybe the brown, and put it on there for the cello, and just you can get that texture going. I'm kind of unconventional. I've been doing art for a while, so I go back and forth. I can do realistic art too, but I just did drew a self-portrait of myself, and I hadn't done one in a while, so it was kind of intimidating at first. But I tend to like to experiment, and it seems to keep my creativity going. A lot of color work on my art and my paintings, and I tend to do it to make it a statement of, life is here for us to enjoy. Here we are with these wonderful paints, and I try to, but then I don't want to get too crazy with it. I want to somehow make it. I want it to be enjoyable and for people to enjoy art, and I also want to learn from it. And if it doesn't work, like I said, I didn't like this painting. I don't like the way it looked. I know we all do paintings where we don't like them, either trash them or just repaint them, and that's what I did with this one. But it was such a it was a challenge for me to go ahead and do this. It didn't happen right away. I didn't go, oh, I'm just gonna throw this on here. No, it didn't happen like that at all. It just kind of came together like a story, like life, and I just kind of brought it in, and I like to incorporate and make stories in some of my pieces. And so this, to me, is just that, hey, we all gotta slow down and enjoy life, because we all work so hard, we need to take the time to feel good about ourselves and try to do art to make ourselves feel, somewhat happy. So this is a piece that I've put aside. I've been coming back to off and on, and I've been doing other pieces besides this piece. And it's like one of my project pieces. So I tend to do that every once in a while. And that way I can explore and try to find out a different way to go about things. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but like I said, it's an exploratory piece. So, and that kind of makes the boundaries, it loosens the boundaries, and you don't get all, oh, it's not good, what if it doesn't work out, oh my gosh. Because gosh, I'm like that on a lot of my pieces that I do, for like calls for art or anything else, like for my public art things, proposals. And this is just my fun piece where I can enjoy it and try to explore and see what I can come up with. So, because I don't know, how this is going to look right here. I'll paint it, but I'll probably end up putting spackle around it so it's not like knobby like this. And then in this, I've painted on this surface before. I mean, all these surfaces are different. So anytime you have all these different multiple surfaces, you're gonna have your paint doing different things, and that's also kind of cool to see what happens. Because you don't know, so you can explore and the paint, when it gets on there, will actually seal this spackle. I've used spackle before, and you can actually buy professional mediums. I am kind of funny. I got this at the dollar store, and it's just, I got it for $1. And if you go to like any other store, it will cost you more money. So if you want to cut corners, it's Spackling Paste, lightweight spackling.
I thought that's what it looked like.
And this isn't always in the dollar store, because you know how it is. You go in there and stuff is gone in a day. Because people like it. They know it's there, and then it's not always in stock. Like if you go to Lowe's, they always have stuff in stock. So if you go to Lowe's, you can buy this probably for like $4 versus $1 at Dollar Tree, but it's not guaranteed you'll get it at Dollar Tree. And with everyone's busy schedules, and if you're not worried about budgeting yourself, you can just go to Lowe's or Home Depot to buy it. Or go to Michael's, or you can go to Michael's to buy it's what do you call it? It's a medium. You can buy it in these jars like this. This is Spackling Paste, or it's Crackling Paste, Crackling Paste, and I had it for so long that I was even, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt, but I'll answer your question in a minute, that it was getting really stiff, so all I did was add water to it. Because sometimes these mediums, you forget you have them, and you'll go, what? Oh my gosh, I gotta use that, and then, oh, I can't use it because it's half dry. And all I did was add water to it and mix it up really well and let it sit there for a couple days. I don't know, I mean, that's how I am. And some people just, they get everything out of the tube, and for me, I do get stuff right out of the tube too and work with that, but it just, like I said, this is my exploratory piece, and I'm, just out to have fun, and, I have like I had some abstract expressive stuff going on down here, and I'm not sure, how it's gonna turn out really, so. Anyone have any questions?
I got a question.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a canvas?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
now, aren't you concerned about that spackling cracking and falling off?
Well, I've had it on there for quite a while now, and it was laid flat on my floor forever, and it's baked on there pretty much. But once I apply the paint, which I'll show you, I'll paint on the surface here. It will actually seal it in. I mean, I'll put more than one coat on, maybe for sure 2, if not 3, for the bottom color. I mean, because it it's not, nothing is permanent anyway, but if you put, you experiment and do whatever works for you, so you can put the paint on and because acrylic is plastic, once it dries it's plastic, so if you think about it and you let it dry for a while, it'll just adhere to the canvas. And this is canvas right here, so it's pretty, and it's got texture. So the Spackle does. I mean, I had only like 1 or 2 coats of acrylic paint on there already. So I don't know. Did I answer your question? I don't know. Like I said, it's an experimental piece, and
Have you ever had trouble with that chipping?
well, like you could see, I touched it, and some of it came down a little bit on the floor, and I'll clean it up. Sorry. But when I paint it, I can show you right now. When I paint it, it's actually probably gonna. Some of it will probably come off, but I don't know how much of it will. So, like I said, you just have to experiment and go from there.
That's what I want to see, is you use that palette boom on that canvas.
Like I'll start on the piano here. So see, I'm just painting right on it. Kind of loose with it. I'm putting on. And I've even used Crackling medium. I don't know if any of you guys ever used Crackling medium to get like effects on my art. So I don't know. There's a lot of things I would like to explore myself. Like I would like to do more plein air painting, but that takes a lot of time and commitment to do that. And like I said, this is just an exploratory piece. I don't know if have any of you guys had a chance to go to my website? I know some of you
I tried.
had a chance to go to my website.
What is your website?
It's Genevieve. Just Google my name on Google and check out my Fine Art America website. It's artist websites -GenevieveEsson.com. But my art is pretty contemporary. It's full color, and it's not really. I don't know how to explain it. It's a modern. It's contemporary, and it's colorful and.
It's happy. I have to
Thank
say,
you.
it's very happy.
Thank you. I've done some goth pieces myself in the past, like for some shows, but like this piano that I'm painting right now, you can see I kind of left the edges white, and I did that on purpose, just so that I have that as a highlight, and I'm going to come back in and paint those. I could just paint it all one color black, but this is just an old brush I'm using, so I would not recommend you using your good brushes on like a rough surface like this. So this is an old brush, or you can get a cheap brush. You can buy a pack of cheap brushes like at Michael's or Art Mart.
I was going to read that.
Ones that aren't super expensive. So this
Do
is
you
like.
use water with your paint when you're going over that Spackling?
Actually, I just no, I just dip my brush right in the paint. I try not to use a lot of water because it seems to
ESSOE.
Would it weaken the?
it's ESSOM. That's my last
Oh,
name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh no, you're welcome. Thank you. Oh yeah. The paint gets too thin. Like if I was doing a wash, I would add water to my paint. Because who here uses acrylic? Don't you think? Yeah. Don't you think you might kind of use it as a watercolor wash? You notice that you can. The more water you add to it, the more like a watercolor it becomes. So with this, since this is such, if I added water to this spackling, it wouldn't probably do it any good. So that's why I'm not doing that. And like I said before, the acrylic paint is plastic based. It's water soluble, but it's also when it hardens, it's like plastic. So it'll actually make this adhere it'll actually help the spackling stay on. And like I said, I didn't paint the edges because I'm gonna probably seal it in with some varnish, like not varnish, but like some polyacrylic to help seal it in, and then maybe go over it because it's giving it a highlight right now. And I mean, I could go over it. And if it gets over on the edges, that's fine. See, I don't usually, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but I have an idea in mind what I'd like to achieve. Because the reason for that is I don't know how it's gonna look, and I'm just being cautious. So I went ahead and put the paint in, and now I'm painting the edges, and I'm liking myself painting the edges. So at first I thought I was gonna leave them as highlights, but I changed my mind. It's just one of those things that kind of comes to you as an artist. You can just kind of go with the flow, you know, the feel, how you feel, and make it your thing. Like this is my baby. You know, I'm gonna whatever I want. It's not like I'm entering in a show. I'm just gonna have fun with it and explore. So yeah, by all means, stretch and explore. You know, use materials around your house. And like I said, it all just kind of came together. All I know is when I decided to do 3-dimensional on this, I go, gosh, what am I gonna do with this? This piece has just been hanging around my studio like this for over a year. And it was bothering me. You know, I go, I need to do something with this. This in the background, that was the first thing. And then I made the designs, and then I just applied this spackle paint, and then I did this. I saw the lace, it was sitting right nearby, and I went ahead and put the lace and I experimented. You know, it took me a while to do the skirt, you know, because at first I just had a few pieces, and I let it dry, and I came back and looked at it the next day, and I go, you know what, I really like the floral patterns and the lace, and it's all rusty looking. And I just kind of wanted to make it a little bit more eclectic, and that's what I did. And then after I did that, I did this. I had this old dryer lint and left over from that art show I had at Third Degree Glass Factory, and I just kind of went with it. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna apply this butterfly because I would like to put another butterfly in here somewhere. Probably not here. I have the words "just be" in there, which is kind of like just be, just be yourself, kind of thing, go listen to music or play your guitar, your favorite music, relax. I've got a lot going on in it, and I don't want it to get too busy. So where that butterfly is gonna go, I don't know, but I pretty much am done, putting objects in here. But I shouldn't say that because I'll probably add more stuff like to this as I go along. But
What
just
is
add
that?
the dimension to it. What's this? It's dryer lint.
It's what?
It's dryer lint.
A
From
dryer
a blanket.
lint?
It's from a
That's what I
blanket.
thought maybe.
Yeah, it was like one of my favorite blankets.
What are those in your imagination?
Oh, they're like planets or balls, round balls.
I know, but in your painting, what are you creating with those?
Just joy and happiness, something to add to the background. This guy was from another separate piece I did. So she's from one painting I did, and he's from another painting I did, and they're both from two separate pieces. And I like that's a very good question, by the way. So I decided, well, I like both these characters. I'm gonna put them in a large painting and see what comes out. So in this guy in the painting, he is actually with a different person, a woman, and they're on top of a building in the city at nighttime, and he's playing this instrument, and she's standing there conducting, and up above are all these planets, the whole solar system. It's like at nighttime, the stars are out, and these are actually planets. Well, I couldn't really do that with this because there's a tree here in the day, so I just made them into these. I don't know, it doesn't make sense. It probably doesn't, but that's what I did.
Do you
That's so
usually
makes
paint
sense.
over all the spackling, or do you leave it white sometimes?
I usually paint over all of it. I don't want that to show because, you know, I thought about sanding it down, but I don't want to do that because it just kind of adds texture to it. I like the texture.
Well, when
I
you
did
get,
that on purpose. Made it rough like that on purpose.
when you complete your painting, do you go over it with a gel or anything?
When this is done, I'll definitely go over it with a sealer, which is a polyacrylic varnish I use, water soluble. I get at Lowe's, and
Oh, that's like you would,
It don't just-
it's not an art material, it's in the paint department.
yeah, it's in the paint part. Yeah, and that'll actually seal it in and keep it protected. So some people don't want to put sealer on their acrylics because they think it'll yellow it. You know, they use the satin, the Liquitex satin, you know, and they put one coat on and let it dry for a day and then come back and put another coat on. And I usually do that with the polyacrylic. I'll put one coat on one day, come back and put another coat on. And when I seal this, I will not put more than 2 coats on it because I think that you don't want it to get yellow. And I have been using the polyacrylic sealer for a long time, 4 or 5 years now. And I still have some of the paintings I put it on, but I don't see any yellow going on. But you really have to do your research on it. You know, just you have to let the coats dry in between. You have to be sure that you don't shake the can. You want to stir it with a stick. Because if you shake it, you're going to get the air bubbles in there. Okay, and that's another thing you have to watch out for. That's happened to me a couple times.
And you say that doesn't yellow your artwork?
It doesn't, not mine. I'm kind of unconventional. I know, you guys are probably all, I've seen some of these paintings and they're beautiful and I admire the realistic technique and everything, but I'm kind of abstract, modern kind of a gal with my artwork. So I have a different approach than some people. And some people are like, oh, I gotta only use these, I only use those. You know, that brand of paint with this brand of paint. Because it is. I mean, it's important. You know, I wouldn't advise painting like this. Like I said, this is my fun piece that I do. You know, this is my experimental piece. I'm not recommending this or anything. If you do anything, just do an experimental piece and experiment and find out for yourself, because I would hate for you to do something like this and then have ruin something, you know. I would only experiment and go from there.
Well, the work
Do you
you
know what I
have on your website, is that done with Spackling?
No, some of it is. Yeah, I've got some of my pieces. If you go to my Fine Art America website and go to Third Degree Glass Factory Solo Show, I think it says MultiMedia, the diversity of trees. It has all my 3-dimensional artwork in it. And I had two huge pieces in that show that sold. One of them was a triptych, and I had put all kinds of crazy stuff in it. And I mean, each piece was so heavy, you know, that it was amazing. I had to ship it to this guy in New York, and I didn't pay for shipping. He paid for shipping, but it was expensive. I mean,
Oh yeah, a few $100, probably
Yeah.
$250 up close.
Was that not done, was that done more or less in the fine art category, or was it done with your experimental material?
both my own experience and my experimental, just my knowledge, what I wanted to achieve. You know, my message I wanted to get across my show. You know, trees and using found objects, upcycling. You know, hoping, you know, keeping stuff out of the landfill. Yeah, because we're such a throwaway society. I just, you know, wanted to use stuff. That was the whole idea in the show. I had to write a proposal for the show, and that's what I wrote in my proposal originally. Before I started the artwork, I had that in mind. So I had a goal I wanted to achieve with those art pieces. And I knew it was going to be experimental. and it all came together. It was like one of my favorite shows to do. So, but I don't usually do shows like that.
You mainly
Yeah.
just use a brush, you don't use a palette knife?
I use both. I'm sorry, gentleman back there.
Steve, yes, thanks. Are most of your paintings that size?
No, this is actually a really large piece that I'm working on right now. Like I said, I come back to it from time to time. I do a lot of small pieces.
So it is about what size?
The smallest I go is probably like 5x7 or 4x6.
I have a 5x7 of yours at home that I bought a long time ago.
Oh yeah, you do. Don't you? Is it of the alligator or one of those?
Yeah, it's one of the small ones.
The
It's
small ones.
Yeah, it makes me
Yeah.
happy every time I look at it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Like that painting with the boat and all the colors, ship, sail ship?
Oh yeah.
What size is something like
That is actually about a 7.5 by 9.75. It's in a frame. It's got I upcycled an old frame with a mat, and I just, it's got a nice frame. Why not use it? So I just painted it and put it in the frame.
I can attest to the whole experimental thing because that's how I paint. I paint very real caution when.
Yeah.
What is your oldest painting that you have experimented with and sold?
That's a good one. Gosh, I don't really keep track of stuff like that.
Would you say 5, 10 years? How long have you been doing it?
I've been being a professional artist for about 20 years.
20 years? And you've never had anyone to come back on you saying this is falling apart?
No, I make sure everything's on there. I'm really good about that. Like the art, that one piece I sold to the 2 pieces I sold to the gentleman of New York was one large piece, and I had Spackle paint in it, and I had painted over it with this paint several times, and I sealed it with an acrylic base, and that was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and everything. And then the other piece he bought for me was a 3-dimensional piece, and it had like all kinds of stuff in it. I mean, it was heavy. It was loaded with paint, had rocks in it even, and I didn't use that to glue the rocks on it. I used my glue gun for that. Anything that was
Glue gun?
yeah. Anything that was industrial strength, I used a glue gun. So, and then I painted over it. Just on some pieces.
So what size is something like that? Because I'm a music buff too. So.
That was a commission piece I did. That's just an acrylic piece. That piece is huge.
It is big.
It is huge. It should say it on there.
It
It's
does.
like 40 inches wide by 24 inches high, something like that.
It just says, it shows a price of a print. Then it says, check the website for latest pricing availability. Image may be subject to copyright.
Oh, you must be on the print
I
side.
went on to just Google because it starts showing all kinds of different.
Oh yeah, if you go onto my Fine Art America website, it'll give you the exact size of it, and then it'll also show you prints. My art in prints, pillows, all kinds of stuff. I just sold a piece on there today, actually. A large piece. So it's not always constant, but it's interesting what.
Like I said, every day I get a notification, Genevieve sold something.
Yeah, it's a nice little plus to sell your art, isn't it? Really thick pieces. Yeah. There's two kinds you can get. This is an artist loft canvas, and you can buy this. They're both both of the qualities are gallery wrapped canvases. Gallery wrapped canvases are when it's stapled on the back, which you guys all pretty sure you.
I know, but that is about a 5/8 inch canvas you're working on here.
Yeah, you can get one for like a thicker one for like an inch. Yeah, high quality.
I usually own a 2-inch of gallery wrap.
Oh, yeah.
And
I've done that.
they always work on this thin canvas with all the heavy stuff.
just a regular painting, and it's one of my experiments, so we'll see. You know,
Oh, that could be.
all the pieces I sold to the gentleman in New York were, yeah, they were about those things.
Because that's looks like, this is somebody.
Maybe, one piece that I used,
Just poke
the one piece that I had really heavy objects on that I still have that I'm not gonna sell. That one is a 2-inch canvas because it's like industrial. I have like so much stuff on there. So I mean, it just depends on what you want to achieve. Like I'm not really, you know, gonna hold it against me if it. I mean, right now it's. I have like observed and watched other artists with their, you know, online. I do research. I do my research before I do anything usually. And if it doesn't feel right, I won't do it. So this feels right. You know, I've experimented with a lot of these materials and I haven't.
How long does it take something like her, is that her skirt or whatever it is? How long does that usually take to dry?
That's a good question. Materials, fabric, this, that's a very good question. All this took a while, at least a week to harden.
You say a week?
A week, if not more, to dry. So yeah, it's one of those pieces, like I said, I have other projects I'm working on and I've come back to it. This is my fun piece. I'm not worried about it. You know, I'm not putting it in a show. It's my artwork. You know, I'm not worrying about it. So just have fun. But it took like 2 weeks for it to dry. No, it's still, it's definitely rock solid, so it is paintable. I mean, you can come up here and feel it if you want, but it's definitely dry. I mean, it might be a little soft and spongy in some places, like where the netting is, you know, but once you put that paint on there, it'll be fine.
Yeah, that size painting that you're doing right there, what would you value it at? What would you probably ask for it?
I don't know, it just depends on how much time I spend on it. I don't know, I'm not done with it, so, $1,000 right now.
What?
$1,000, but by the time I'm done with it, it'll probably be like worth $2,000 because I'm not sure, you know, about what kind of effect it's gonna have, you know. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out, so I really don't know how I would price it. But that's a very good question.
Do you sell your work through, I noticed it said you enter fairs, craft shows, you exhibit in a lot of different things. Where do you sell most of your, where do you get most of your buyers or contacts from? Even on your website or?
I used to actually get a lot of contacts on Fine Art America, people buying my original works on there, but the market has gotten so saturated on Fine Art America that I mostly now just sell prints.
You sell prints?
Prints. I also sell shower curtains on there. So, I mean, my art is applicable to a lot of stuff like that, you know, where people, you know, they'll look good on a shower curtain. But, yeah, I get a lot of hits on Fine Art America. I'm on artfinder.com now, too. I've been on there, I think, since 2017, and I just sold my first piece just this last summer. And I wasn't even on there at all. I hadn't even been on that website for a year. And I'm going through my emails, I'm like, oh, I sold a piece of artwork on Artfinder. So, I mean, and then I would say, so websites like Fine Art America, I do pretty good on. And also Redbubble, and I also do fairs and shows. I just did Let Them Eat Art in this summer, and that was like a month ago. I can't believe it's been a month already, but I do really well there, and people know me, so I've built up a following there. And
You do very well where?
at an art festival called Let Them Eat Art in Maplewood. And I've been doing that for years. This was my 10th year there. So, you know, people know who I am and they come in and buy my art. and I do my art in a way so that it's marketable to that demographic area. You know, the thing is that in St. Louis, it's hard to sell art sometimes because some people just don't want to spend a lot of money on art. And so when I do these craft fairs, I try to market my art. I don't spend a lot of time on it, so I can sell it for a very reasonable price. And I know I'll get my money for what I sell it for. So and I also do the farmer's market. I've been doing Tower Road Farmer's Market for the last 7 years. 6 or 7 years, and I just sell smaller pieces there, and I paint on magnets, and I do, you know, all kinds of stuff. I make art posters. I paint utilitarian art that people can use, you know, like art trays, and people like that for some reason.
So when you finish your work, is it glossy or matte?
It just depends on what kind of effect I want to get. My work is, I used to put 3 coats of gloss on my art, but lately I've just been doing 2 because I don't want it to be too glossy. Because I just kind of noticed something, not that it was getting yellow, but it was too shiny. I didn't like the shiny look on it. So just putting 2 coats of gloss on the canvas, I could still see the texture of the canvas and it wasn't too shiny.
You say you don't like for it to be glossy?
Too glossy, like 3 coats makes it
So it's more or less of a satin?
a satin, right? Right, a satin, yes ma'am. How about you? Have you ever tried putting gloss on or satin on any of your artworks?
What?
Have you ever put gloss on any of your artworks?
I have, but most of the time I like, a lot of times I don't do anything to my acrylics. I had them for years and I don't, I have a 4x5 one and I have it is, it's glossy.
I don't normally put gloss on my larger pieces, no. If I'm gonna be traveling with them, it seems to help protect them from being scratched. But most of the time, I just put the gloss on my smaller pieces. That's it. Here I am just applying black paint. This is anyone else have any more questions? Feel free to ask. I'm gonna stop, once I get this background painted on this painting, on this piano. I'm getting tired, it's been a long day. I'm gonna go ahead and apply one of these 3-dimensional pieces, like a butterfly, and show you what I do. I put it in glue and then I apply it to my canvas. So I'll show you that shortly.
You mainly paint, you don't do too much shading, you just more or less paint it, what am I trying to say?
Directly on, yeah. I have done some shading, but this piece, not so much. The original painting had some shading in it, but I just didn't like how it looked, and so I've decided to go this way, you know, put the texture on it, just to see what kind of effect I would get. Because it's different. I mean, I wanted to do something different with this piece. I didn't want it to be looking, you know, boring. So I just wanted to give it a new look.
It's an
That's all.
abstract piece anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's see. I mean, I could
Now, are
do.
you going to paint her dress or are you going to leave it in that shade?
Oh no, I'm gonna paint it. I'm just not gonna do it tonight because I would like to. I need to think about it still. Exactly how I'm gonna do it. I kind of feel my way through some of these steps with my art. You know, I want to get in the main colors like the stuff, like the piano, I'm gonna get his musical instrument. Before I touch the dress, I'm gonna get her painted in. I mean, I've already made up my mind that that's what I'm gonna do, for some reason, because then I can direct it and make sure, you know, that I have the right colors and that kind of thing, so. That's the reason.
Now, is that white lavender up there above her, is that Spackling too?
It actually was painted, old paint. It was a brown paint, because his background was brown, and it was, a thick, old earth paint that was actually like a texture.
It's just all paint?
Yeah, it was just like a texture paint.
What have you done, used several layers?
No, it was just one layer of the old paint, and then I took this purplish pink paint and I painted it because that's just what I want. That's just the direction I'm going in.
You stamped it?
No, to get the design, I just drew them in with my knife, you know, that I have. I went,
Oh, you just did it with, you did your own design palette.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
yep. And here we go. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and.
But you're saying that is all paint? That light
Yeah, this is all paint. Yeah, it's old paint that was really thick, kind of like how this is, except it was thicker. And it was thick enough to where I could etch in a floral pattern with my knife.
Since your butterflies are dry, would you consider painting over them, or will you leave them the same color?
Oh no, I'm gonna paint over them.
Yeah.
I think those will probably be like finishing touches towards the last part, maybe.
It's going to be really pretty.
Yeah, it's just kind of a fun abstract piece. I mean, I've like gone online and seen some artists that are phenomenal the way they just. I mean, I admire anyone who can just throw stuff on a painting and make a masterpiece. But I don't know how this is gonna end up, but I'm hoping it turns out like that. That's my goal. Thank you. It's just like I said, it's just purely experimental, you know, and just having fun with this piece I set aside and to have fun with. It's a little different, you know, so I'm, you know, painting using an old paint chip here for my palette because I ran out of room on my paper plate there. But I mean, just kind of go for it. Anyway. I like the texture of the Spackle paste. See, it's holding up pretty good. You know, this brush is pretty soft, so it's not like it's gonna.
Did you use any kind of references, or you just made it all up in your head?
That's a good question. Like I said, this piece was inspired by my cousin who's a piano player, and she passed away last year. She was a phenomenal woman, and then this guy was part of the wedding of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and I thought they were kind of. I thought he was. I mean, they were just seemed like he was just so. It was just refreshing to see, you know, him play. When I saw him, you know, on the news, and it just inspired me, and I put him on there. And this was like last year. So it was over a year ago. So, and then I put them in another piece, and I liked it so much I decided to reincorporate it in this artwork. So they're from two separate pieces. That piece is separate, and this is separate, and I just kind of brought them together.
I'll be anxious to see it finished.
Yeah, I you know, I don't know how it's going to turn out, so. I'm just having fun with it. Like I said, it's just one of those pieces that I kind of, my easel keeps moving for some reason on this ground. I apologize. But like I said, it was one of the pieces that I just decided to do this, and I've never done this before like this. So, except for the exception of those trees I did for the third degree glass factory, that was all experimental. But so this is kind of along the same lines, but it's different in a different way.
We'll go about 5 more minutes.
Sure. Okay. No problem. So does anyone have any more questions or anything? And I'd be happy to
What
answer
color hair
them.
is your girl going to have, the piano player?
What?
What color hair is she going to have?
She's gonna have red hair, reddish hair.
I was thinking she would be blonde for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, see, everyone kind of projects their own thing onto art, and that's what art's all about. It's all subjective, because we all go through life, you know, with our own experiences, and you're gonna look at a piece and, you know, look at it through your own experiences and what you like, what you don't like, and
Same thing with the leaves. Are you gonna put various colors in there and stick with variations of green?
oh no, yeah, I'm definitely gonna
Lots of color.
lots of color variations of green, you know, like highlights of light coming in, you know, because it's a wind. The wind is blowing this way, and it's all going like that. So
Just for in your defense here, because you said that is a work in progress. If everybody was to go to your website and see what you're doing, that'd be a whole nother story. Because you know what I mean? When they're finished, there's so much going on. It's awesome.
oh, thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it's amazing how I've done some pieces that I've forgotten about, you know. You know, and I'm like, oh, I did that. How did I do that? And I don't know. I just kind of keep going with my art, and I mean, I'm not making a living off of it. I mean, it's like one of my part-time jobs. You know, I lived off my art over the summertime for 2 or 3 months, and I've been doing that for the last 10 years. But it's not full time yet. I'm still plugging away.
I think most artists are,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing that you have to die as an artist to get your work to be
Yeah.
noticed, you know.
Yeah, it is
It's
kind of
like
sad.
buy art from living artists to help support them, keep them painting.
Yeah. Now, however, there are some lucky artists that are doing great that I know.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's luck of the draw, you know. And I'm happy for them, you know. And you know, I look at it this way: you should never compare yourself to other artists, you know. Never. Don't ever do that, because then it'll just make you sour. You just keep on keeping it fresh and living your dream, and
I always tell artists is be your own artist, because no one wants to see your interpretation of someone else's work. If they wanted to see that work, they'd go see that artist's work.
That's
be
right.
your own artist. Yeah.
very spot on. Spot on. That's very true.
Because if only 0.1% of the population of the world likes your art, that's a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's all
Yes.
you need.
That's
you know?
right. That is so true.
You know, the average salary in
That's
this room is, we're in the 1/10 of the world's richest. You know that?
Oh, yeah.
So feel yourself, and call yourself blessed.
Yeah.
Every day you wake up, it's a good day.
Exactly. I
Well,
feel
can
so-
anybody name an artist who only lived on his artwork? I can't think of any.
The guy who paints the water towers?
Yeah, that's my name.
There's a few of them out there, but
Everybody I can think of that was well known, like
Bob
Beckman.
Jackson.
Max Beckman worked in Washington years.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Well, Van Gogh only had one sale, and it was what, questionable, like to a family member. And
Siegfried Reinhardt.
Right.
Siegfried Reinhardt worked at Maryville.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. Yeah, St. Louis has a great, the art museum has a great selection of artists that have been through, like, teaching at Washington.
I always like to ask artists as like a final closing thing.
Andy
If
Warhol.
there's one thing that you want people to go away knowing tonight, what would that be?
I hope you got something out of this
I don't know if
demonstration.
Andy Warhol
Absolutely.
lived on just his art.
I don't know. I think he did pretty good. He did
He
the
did
soup
pretty good,
paints,
but-
and I mean, he did those. I mean, wow, that guy was doing art for. I mean, he's awesome. Who doesn't like Andy Warhol? Wow. I mean, wow, that guy was prolific.
I think your message is right there.
What's
I
that?
think your message is right there.
Just be. Yes, yeah, just be. My message for tonight is just be. Have a happy, enjoyable art experience and explore. And you know, if you explore, do it on a paint. You know, a paint you know you're going to experiment on. Usually they turn out really cool. You know, don't get all oh no about it. Just have fun with it.
On that note,
Thank you so much, everyone. I've really enjoyed my demonstration with you all tonight. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
well, we've loved having you here.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it.
Focused in North St. Louis County, Northside Art Association is a nonprofit 501c3 arts organization that serves local artists through community exposure, networking, education, and peer interaction. Learn more about Northside Art Association at www.northsideartassociation.org.